I kind of have no idea what I'm doing. It has been a while.
It's been a while, and it is delicious.
I hope this finds you very well. It is a Tuesday morning here, and it's a grey day, but that's kind of nice to have a reason to be at home, cozied up a little bit. I have a cup of tea. This is my second one of the day, and feels like I very much need it, but also that it might send me a little bit to have the zoomies like Audrey has had for the last hour. Yeah. What have you been doing? How have you been? Let me know if in the thing, because I wish this was a two-way, let's just chat, let's have a collective chat, but it's kind of a little bit less of that than, would be nice. Anyway, I am wearing some knitwear. I'm wearing my cloud bow. This is a pattern from Pom Pom magazine. I will put a link to the issue that it's in and the pattern in the box below. I've modified this really, really heavily. I talk about it in a couple of videos, I think, so I'm not going to go into those details. And if I'm really truthful, I really hacked this and I didn't note down what I did, and I don't really remember, but let's put my tea down so I don't chuck it everywhere. The main modification was to bring up the underarm a lot higher because I wanted to have full range of movement without the item moving. And I wanted it to be able to wear cardigans over the top and to fit under coats in the winter. That was one of the main things. I also brought up the waist a little bit. I wanted it to have sort of a 1920s, I don't know, maybe not, no, that's the wrong era. An empire waistline, if you will. And I've put elastic in there so it sits nice and snugly. I've actually only used a safety pin to hold the elastic in there for the time being, in case I want to adjust it and you can't tell, so that's kind of nice. I did I-cord edging and I used a strand of Woolly Knits British wool cone in the colour jet black and Drops Kid Silk, I remembered the real name, in black. I love it, it's good, I wear it quite a bit. It's nice on this weird weathery day. It is slightly humid and slightly feels warm, but there's definitely a cool breeze, and I had to wear a jacket, quite a heavy jacket when I went out. And I was gonna tell you about washing my winter coat this morning, but I've done it anyway. I'm like, that's not useful information that you need to know. But yes, that's what I'm wearing. I've also got my Betrayal socks, which is the colourway from a Knittical Roll Corner of Craft Club. And these other It's Thursday socks by Lovely Sock Witchery. I love these ones. I probably wore them last time we were together. Yak silk socks. Wow, I have so much talking to do today, and whether it comes out good, I'm not sure. I feel like I've done loads and loads and loads of talking in the last couple of weeks, but I haven't had to... I've had a lot longer to just waffle my way through things with friends rather than trying to make things clear the first time, so we'll see how this goes. Thank you for joining me, by the way. It's really cool that even though I've taken time off, that you're here. Hi. I want to give you a hug. I want to give everyone a hug. I'm feeling very, my cup is brimming and I just want to share that feeling. Yeah. Not this cup, my metaphorical cup. Yeah, it might be a long one. Let's talk about finished objects first, shall we? It makes sense. It's really been a while and I definitely have lots to share. I think I have more than I can physically share today. So I'm going to just do what we can. We'll catch up next week. Is that good? Is that good? Because otherwise, this would be like an episode of Critical Role, 3 hours long situation, and fun as that is, I'm not going to listen to myself talk for that long. I can't do that. I finished my little Ghost Whisperer. And this is a pattern by Parker Knit, or Park Williams, I believe is her real name. I really modified this to the point where it's almost unrecognisable as the same item. It is a bottom-up crop top that you then work the fronts separately, knitted flat, and then you pick up for the sleeves and knit them in the round. How did I change it? Lots of ways. I picked up this yarn, which is Gore Blimey, it on the Sweet Flax base by Ginger Twist Studio. I picked it up when I went to Edinburgh. It's very fun. I think I was inspired by May to go for something a little bit more punchy. And it is a linen, silk and alpaca base. I got there. I nearly told you just wool, but yes, it's an alpaca base. Perfect for summer, I think. It really drapes beautifully, and it's really nice to knit with. I quite like knitting with linen, but you definitely get much more of the silkiness and the alpaca coming through than the linen, but you do notice it on the body that it is a little bit cooler than wearing just alpaca. And this is a 4-ply weight yarn that I ended up knitting at 2 full millimeters smaller than recommended for the pattern. So I had to kind of go in, do a swatch, do a little bit of maths to adjust the sizing, and then I cast on with kind of reckless abandon on the train because I had no more knitting to do. Otherwise I followed this to the pattern until I got to the edge of the sleeves. I was playing yarn chicken and I knew I would. I just knew I would, having gone down quite a few needle sizes, I would run out of yarn, and I had, I think it was 5 meters left, so perfect. What I did is I got to the sleeves to the length that I wanted them. I did a very rapid increase and then bound off straight away. And that's all I did to modify them, much like my other one. And yeah, I really like this. It is cropped, it is very cropped. I will be wearing this with high-waisted shorts, trousers, dresses, I think summer dresses, and long summer skirts. I will do my best to have put this on. I haven't put it on today for some footage so that you can see it on my body. Do you know what? Let's note that down. Let's be good. And then in the future, for all the next ones, I'm just going to talk like I've done it because I will have done it rather than being like, yeah, I'll try. Got you. I got you and I got me too. Yeah, I really like this pattern. It is a very simple project and I think my wardrobe lends itself to being either super simple basic knitwear or something a little bit out there and interesting, and I think that's how I like to knit too. I really like something that has an interesting construction or an interesting texture or interesting colour play, or really simple. Oh, we were almost blessed. She's just come. Do you want to come and sit with us? How good is that? No. And I don't blame her because those are some sinful knits I'm going to share with you very shortly. Yeah, and I think that's it. I really enjoyed knitting this. I really like the outcome, and as you'll see, I'm knitting it again. So let's talk about this one. This was the Ghost Whisperer I finished quite a while ago. This one I finished last week, and this is a project that I had to knit in 24 hours. I didn't have to, I should clarify that. I didn't have to, but I had some woes. If you follow me over on Instagram or you might have seen the YouTube short, I shrunk my 3 favourite pieces of knitwear. And I say 3 favourite, and I really think they are, whether they're the ones that I realised before, I don't think I did. But when they got destroyed, I felt it. I wished that the laundry gods had taken so many other pieces of my knitwear And I was really sad. I let myself feel that sadness, but also I did feel like it was slightly irrational knowing that in the future I could reknit them again, which was kind of reassuring at the end of the day. But also, these are the 3 items that if I'm going away, even if it's for a night, if it's for a week, they're like almost the 3 first items I pack, because I know they cover most situations. They go with everything. They're super comfortable. They were my mohair, black mohair ranunculus, which is a pattern by Midori Hirose. And I think they're all items that I've worn so much and just are part of my wardrobe that I never photograph myself wearing them. If that makes sense, like they're just, it doesn't feel particularly out there. But, so this is now way too short for me really to be wearing anywhere but the house or layered over dresses. This is my modified Varpu cardigan that, again, way too short, way too narrow. And also, look at this. There's almost no fluff left in this. I've worn this thing so much and it just shows you how much I've worn it. And my black Varpu jumper. Now, both of these were knitted using alpaca silk from Drops. And this one, I believe, used some more British wool cone woolly knit in jet black. They were a lot smaller than this, and whilst I have made them to a point where I can kind of wear them in the house as like almost scruff layers, like if I'm gonna be doing cleaning or sitting around or painting even, would probably put these on as just like, I'm not gonna ruin something a bit nicer. They're so worn out. Like all the wool, all the fluff is literally worn out from here. And I was really sad. I managed to save them a little bit using a really conditioner heavy sink load of water and massaged them and stretched them and massaged and stretched. But realistically, I'm going to have to reknit these. And as I said, it's made me realise that I'm probably going to want to pass on some garments. I think the ones that I was like, I wish it was this or I wish it was that, they're the ones I'm going to pass on in the hope to then replace these, because I just love them. They were perfect. It might be that someone wants them for their toddler. But yeah, so that was very sad, and I had planned to wear a dress with my ranunculus over the top at a wedding we were going to. The idea being that my velvet dress that I wear to every occasion generally, it was a fairly cheap second-hand dress. I really like it, but it needs to be made to fit me. Alex is right, I look a little bit like I've borrowed my mum's dress. It just looks a bit silly on me. I love it, but there we go. So I've got another dress that was also a second-hand £3 dress. Not very fancy at all, but I feel like it was just on the cusp between whimsy and edgy, and having a mohair overlayer would move it into more whimsy and a bit more wedding appropriate. But obviously I shrunk it, which was very upsetting. And I should thank both Sakami Yarns for being positive and just straight away being supportive about the situation, and also the Corner of Craft, Hannah, for being like, have you considered the conditioner thing? And I had, and I just honestly thought there was going to be no coming back. But that little nudge was enough to make me go, okay, I'll try it. And they're not perfect, and I'm still very sad that they really aren't suitable for out of the house, but they're still doing something, and that's better than having to put them to the skip. Anyway, to make myself feel a little bit more whimsy, I was like, what can I have? And I thought about wearing my wedding top, but really too light to go with the dress, and anything else in my little top wardrobe, it just didn't fit. And I thought, okay, well, have I got any more mohair? No, because I was putting the last of my black mohair into another project. And in hindsight, actually it worked out well. I'm very happy with this item, but I probably will reknit it again, or a variation of a little mohair top in black, because it's just something I will wear time and time again. Anyway, I went to my wool pantry to find what black yarn I had, and I had this Lithuanian linen from Tribe Yarns in black. I've got plenty. I can do a ranunculus, and I messaged Alex to tell him about my woes. He's like, you can knit a ranunculus in 24 hours, you've done it before. And I don't think I can, especially with trying to do a day's work, a travel to Newcastle and life maintenance and packing for a wedding and a weekend away. I don't know, but he had faith, and I was like, okay, cast it on. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does, great. We'll figure out the next hurdle when we get there. So I cast on, and I did finish it in 24 hours. In fact, I knitted the body too long, so I did more knitting than necessary, but it's lovely. Very hard to see on here. I used, let's get rid of some of this fluff. There's lots of fluff from the next project I'm going to share with you. I did a little swatch to get an idea of what my gauge would be. I knew that I was going to need to go down a couple of needle sizes. I also wanted it to be just a little bit smaller than recommended. I often actually go down, even for my mohair ones, a little bit to get it to be a bit smaller anyway. But I went down to get, I think it's 16 stitches per inch. Anyway, I found a fabric I liked and a needle size I liked, cast on, and it really did almost knit itself. I got to almost the end of the yoke by the evening. Then I went to bed and knit the body and the sleeves by the time we arrived in Newcastle. I gave it a little bit of a wash and a gentle block. I didn't actually open out the lace too much. I was nervous, and I could already see that it was going to be longer in the body, so I didn't want to do too much stretching. But this yarn has softened up loads already in just 2 washes, and it has had 2 washes because not only did I wear it for the wedding, I've already worn it since, so it's a useful item in my wardrobe, and it being a little bit longer is kind of okay. It did look funny with my dress because the dress sat just above my natural waist, I would say, and it just kind of made me look a little bit frumpy, but that's fine. It was a bit less edgy, and that was the aim. I didn't want to be, you know. So really love this. I know it's a pattern that I've spoken about loads, so I won't talk too much more about it. It's now got the additional larger bust size modifications, which is great. It's a little bit limited, but in terms of sizing, but there's so much you can do to adjust it. So many different bodies have knitted it, and it's just a staple in most people's knitting repertoire. Really recommend it. Long sleeve, short sleeve, cropped, uncropped. Great little knit. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know why that shocked me as much as it did, but it did. Also quite good. Quite well timed. That was a cable for my laptop so I can charge it, because the one that I have been using for the last 2 years is very dangerous. I covered it in electrical tape, but it needed to go. It was becoming a real hazard. so I can actually edit the video today. Anyway, yeah, stained my hands, came off easy, but I really want to try one of the other colours. From people that I've spoken to that have used it in different colours, they've said that it's been fine. And I just think that to get a good black, you do need to oversaturate the yarn a bit. So just a word of caution if you're interested in using this yarn, and it's very affordable. I think it is £9. I can't remember. Is it 800 metres? 400 metres? 400 metres for 50 grams maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but either way, I think for 100% linen yarn, it is very affordable and it washes up beautifully. It's really softening and I think it's going to last a while. Cute heart. Also very distracting. But I missed you when I was away. Okay. Third and final one. This is totally out of my wheelhouse. And then at the same time, totally in my wheelhouse. And I think it's not finished. I haven't blocked it. And I'm thinking there's a few finishing touches that I might add. But I thought I'd add... Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Ask the audience. So here she is. This is I've been calling it my Wild Magic jumper. Alex thinks it looks like a Zap ice lolly, which I've never had, so I don't know. But when he showed me the colours, it was about right. But this is my jumper, my Wild Magic jumper. And I love her. So I actually really don't have very much left. I think I've got less than a full skein. I had some merino singles in quite bright colours from companies like Spectrum Fibre and Biff Sugar Yarns. And lovely as they are, merino singles around me is just a terrible idea. I've also wanted to step away from superwash yarn, but I had them. They weren't full skein, so I wasn't going to sell them on, or there's not really, they're not the sort of thing you give someone unless you're around them a lot. Or, you know what I'm saying, not much to do with them. And I had some quite bright mohairs, and I thought I would really like to get these out of my wool pantry into something that I'm not going to need to wash much. And if I do, that's fine, but I'm not going to need to wash too much. Keep it out of the water supply, but still use it. Let's not waste it. And kind of perfectly timed, given that my favourite oversized cozy jumper got destroyed. So I also had a hankering for Brioche. I don't know if you've ever had that, but I really did. I think it was maybe a month ago. I was just laying next to Alex. I was like, Alex, I just really fancy doing Brioche. And he's like, you should then. And I was thinking. Did a quick sketch on my phone. Very bad. I put it on the screen to get an idea of what I wanted to do. I then went in and did a tiny bit of maths. The maths was as in-depth as this. I did scribble it down in pencil first, and then I put it in my little book, because my book either comes everywhere with me, or I could photograph it a bit neater and have it to reference when I was on the go. And then cast on, and my aim was to just put the colours in as and when it felt right. Be a little bit chaotic. I was tempted to roll dice for it, but I just wanted to have a little bit more control. Because I was sort of limited. Sort of. There was plenty of yarn, but some colours not so much. I prioritised putting the light ones on the back, since I wouldn't have to look at it. So you can kind of tell. Hey buddy. Like there's quite a lot of lighter sections on the back than on the front. And yeah, I just did some single colour brioche. I knitted it entirely flat, including the sleeves, and then I opted to do some 2-colour brioche at the end of the sleeves and gave it a little plain ribbed cuffs, collar and hem. I added short row shaping to the back, and I did a slightly longer back and a kind of split hem. Not quite. I just did it how it felt right at the time. and then seamed it up. That was that. I'm really happy with this, in truth. So here are the potential modifications or additions. I was thinking I might do a duplicate stitch along the seam on the shoulder and along one of the ribbing, like the ribs along the sleeve, and then adding a few longer duplicate stitch to make it less cohesive, to give it a little bit more chaos to it along the sleeve. And that was it. I think I might do it, but I haven't worn it properly to get an idea yet if that would like look even better. But that was what I had in my head, to make it a little bit more jumbly like the rest. Really happy with it. It feels super luxurious. It is luxurious. It's strange to have used singles. It feels a bit unnatural to me. It's too, I don't know. It is what it is. But I loved knitting with this much mohair and this brighter colours and the slight more grounding to me of the black. Really happy with this. I would love to knit another one, and what I might do when I replace my black jumper, I might knit it like this instead of the Varpu and do a brioche, squishy brioche jumper. I think that might feel good. What else to say? I went down, instead of doing any decreases or anything, I just went down a metric butt load of needle sizes. I did a round of knit stitch, just one round of plain knit, to give myself a bit of a nicer colour change. And then that was it. Off I went. Some ribbon, I did a tubular bind off. I love it. I'm very happy. Bright, beautiful, fun, good to throw on. I am going to give this a wash and block, if only to stop it shedding quite as much. It really is, and the amount of black I wear, I'm going to have to start like lint rolling myself before I leave the house. But this is fine. It's inevitable. But yeah, super happy. Wow. Let's talk whips. Not like whoosh, like works in progress. I know that was bad, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Been talking so long, this is already cold. Gonna drink it anyway. Let's show you one that you haven't seen yet. And this one is for the Knitters and Critters make-along, which is happening predominantly over on Instagram, inspired by tabletop role-playing games. There's a really good little frequently asked questions, how to take part guide on the Knitters and Critters Instagram page. I love them, they're amazing. And I couldn't not join in. I'm helping to host it. I've not been the best host, but that's because I've been away. And I purchased yarn for this 2 months ago, I think, maybe a month ago, from Chromatic Yarns, lovely Hannah, who I had the privilege of getting to meet. And I'll talk more about that at the end, because just, you know, we try, and maybe you don't want to hear my waffle about fun things, which is fine. It's the colour Merfolk Lagoon on the fluffy lace base. I have also stopped using the gel on my nails. I had an inkling, but didn't really think to do research. It's kind of the thing. I'm not using gel on my nails. I don't want the UV damage. There you go. I will keep the UV light for fun things though. But yeah, so I can destroy this in a day. It's lasted actually, this was put on last Wednesday and it's still kind of at the bottoms of my nails. Anyway, this is Merfolk. It goes quite well with my hair and my kind of my energy at the moment, I guess. I really loved the colour and there was only one skein of it, I think. So I just had to snag it from lovely Hannah. And I am knitting myself a Merfolk Lagoon Ghost Whisperer. A Mer Whisperer, a Siren Whisperer. We'll figure out a fun name for it. I'm not too far into it. I've been trying to actually savour this project. One of those ones where you just want to kind of watch the colours change. I'm finding myself looking at my knitting more and more, and I think that might have been because of how fun the colour changes in that Wild Magic jumper was, and then the colour changes in this. But I often don't look at my knitting if it's a simple stockinette, so this, yeah, I'm wanting to look at it and see it emerge. But here she is so far. I'm knitting the Ghost Whisperer by Park and Knit. It's bottom up. We won't go through all of that. I already did that earlier. I am using the recommended needle size. I am doing the smallest size, I think. I think what I will do is the smallest size and do the underarm to the second size for this one. And because I've got a little bit, I'll have a lot more yarn, I will allow the sleeves to be a little bit bigger and a little bit floofier, I think. But again, just a lovely top to put over the top of dresses, to layer black jeans, black trousers, black skirt, black shorts. But I've got a couple of bralettes already that I will wear with this that go really nicely. So I just thought it was a perfect little combination, and having knitted the Ghost Whisperer once and knowing that, or wearing it so much, unfortunately the beautiful one from Knitting Nakabi doesn't actually go with my hair at the moment, which I don't tend to mind, but it really does clash in a way that's not very good. This will go nicely, and then when my hair changes, inevitably the other one will match, and hopefully this one too. I think if I put my hair back to pink, both of them will go. The pink probably suits me more, but the green is just... I just love green, always have. Anyway, stop waffling. Really enjoying this pattern. Join in the knit along if you would like to. No pressure, but it's quite nice seeing projects already coming together and some of the fun projects that are happening. Someone is knitting a Caduceus Clay character from Critical Role's Mighty 9 series, campaign 2. He's one of my favourite characters ever. So I recently knitted a kind of a big long mohair tunic. It's just going to be very cool, and I can't wait to see how that looks in a variegated yarn. All I'm saying. And just seeing people come together, commenting, sharing, and actually connecting through tabletop role-playing games and slightly nerdiness, and then knitting all at once is just making my little heart happy. We'll do Final Whip. This is my affectionately named Friendship Shawl, because it is. It's filled with yarn from friends and loved ones, and it's just making me happy. I haven't done too much on it for a week and a half, maybe? Again, that's just because it's been so blooming busy. But I'll show you. So this is a modified version of the Half and Half Triangles wrap, the striped version from Pearl Soho. Very popular pattern, many people have knitted it. This is my second one, and it won't be my last. I've actually picked out colours for another one, which will hopefully be something that I start once I have a couple of projects finished. I've got 2 projects that need to be done quite quickly for a very exciting cause. I'm very grateful to be supported in this tiny little space. Anyway, once they're done, I hope to cast on for a dear friend who, every time she sees me wearing my ones, like, I just love that. So I've pulled out a palette that I think will hopefully make her happy. They're not all colours that I've seen her wear, but I have tonally, I think it will go, and also yarns in particular that are quite special. So some hand spun, some ones that I've dyed myself, or ones that are from items that she'll have seen me wear. And I just think that's really cute. So I'm quite excited to do that one. And I think I'll do it in a very similar way to my first one, where I'll do the first triangle in mostly 1 or 2 colours, and then the second one will be chaos striping. Anyway, back to this one. So the first triangle is done. Very difficult to show scrunched up on this. And I have started the second triangle. And I think, I'm getting so tangled up. The second triangle is this is this long so far. It's not very far, but this is reminding me of something and I can't quite place it. I have a feeling it's icing, like normal runny icing, and I don't know if any other countries had them and they've like fallen out of fashion, but there was these little like fruit pastels but in diamonds that you used to decorate cakes with, especially like fairy cakes or birthday cakes for like little, oh, my head to the eye, for like young birthday parties, or like I remember decorating rich tea biscuits with them in brownies. Is that a really niche British thing, or is that, do you know what I mean? I'll see if I can find a picture, but that's what it reminds me of. Is that just me? I am really enjoying the time where I'm working on this. I am tending to knit on it while either snuggled on the sofa watching predominantly Taskmaster, that's about all we're watching, and the hardest geezer, who is amazing, who is running from the whole length of Africa basically. Really interesting, well worth a watch if you like to see adventure and people coming together and feats of the human body. Super interesting. Yeah, so that's when I've been knitting it, and all of these yarns, like I said, are predominantly yarns that either I've swapped, I've been gifted, I've made myself, or like this one, which is the localest yarn I've ever had. This is made from sheep just 5 miles and 10 miles down the road from me. Valet Blacknose, which are the cutest tiny little sheep, and Jacob, which happen to be one of my favourites. They're big boys. The modification that I did is to go to the colour recommendations and just do what I want, and then secondly is to just modify it so that I'm not getting longer rows on the second side, I'm getting shorter rows again. So when you're knitting the triangle, generally you cast on the whole length and the rows get shorter, and then you do it again, you knit back down and the rows get longer, but instead I'm knitting up to the shortest, so knitting the longest down to the shortest, and then going back twice so that I can then backwards loop cast on the longest section or the longest length of this triangle, and then get shorter again. Just makes my heart happy. It's satisfying. You get the thrill of the excitement of a change of half of triangle, and then the rows get shorter, rather than you get the change of excitement and then suddenly it's getting longer and longer. Just makes my brain feel good. So really enjoying this. The most special section of this I will share again is this, which was a batch of minis inspired by our D&D party at the Fantasy Trash. Knitting Nakabi, aka Kelsey, who I love dearly. dyed these up, inspired by each of us. This one's inspired by my character. And I love the blue and green so much. Yeah. I won't update you too much on nerdy things because I'm going to update you more. But Kelsey, keeping a long story short, Kelsey's character has had to go out of our campaign for a bit. She's morally misaligned, and has some work to do, and will be coming back, hopefully. Please come back. So in the meantime, I sent a joking message to Kelsey, who was maybe going to play like a new character or play an NPC for a bit. And like, maybe you could play like a familiar for me, even though I can't technically have one. Maybe we can figure out some sort of... Kelsey's come in and is playing the coolest sidekick. I now in game at the moment have a grumpy pirate cat sidekick. Lovely Sarah, who is amazing at going, we'll make that work, rule of cool. Used the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Tasha's sidekick rules to allow that to happen, and it's just been a blast. So I'm excited to pick up that campaign. Let's put that down. Very cool. I like this thing. It is meant to be something that's just going to stay at home. It's not going to be one that I wear in the hope of saving my other half and half, because it is getting used loads. Alex and I wrap ourselves up in it when we're watching TV and things, so that should negate the hard wearing on the one that I want to be able to wear out. Oh my goodness, so much talking. Oh, this arrived, which is really, really wild and very cool. I don't like talking about myself very much like this, but I have a pattern in here. And it's a pattern I'm really proud of, but also was very nervous about and gave me lots of sleepless nights at the beginning. Not when it went in here. Susan's amazing. Her team of graders and tech editors are amazing. But if you've been here for a while, you might remember the swirly top, aka the waterfall top. I knitted it, designed it for myself. This was the first one. I used Lallybrock by Ginger Twist Studio on her mohair base, some hand-dyed turmeric and tea yarn, and this was acid dyed that I dyed for myself, and I just loved it. It's a slightly sparkly merino base, and people asked for the pattern. I knitted it again in a sage and purple combination, and then promptly got nervous and kind of stopped working on it. I had the amazing Yannicka who test knitted it, and I loved her version so much. Oh, I need to hit pause. And then it kind of just became something that I felt uncomfortable about. It stressed me out. These things happen. I don't have the skills yet. I do have the skills now, I'm getting there. And through Susan, I'm going to get better, which is amazing. I couldn't be more grateful. Anyway, here it is. Printed in a magazine, ready to go, in loads of sizes. This one was knitted using Creep by Nervous Fibre in a DK and lace alpaca. I think it's a 300 metre alpaca base. I loved knitting it. I really hope that I get to wear this again at some point soon, because I loved wearing it. But yeah, I can't believe it. This magazine is beautiful. It is definitely a journal and more of a book. There's lots of essays in here, and you know, if you know about, I love Scotland. I won't go on about it, but yeah, there's lots of beautiful articles. I actually haven't gone through it properly. I am saving this for hopefully this weekend when things are a little bit slower. I'll talk a little bit about what we've been up to, but it's just been all systems go, and so I'm quite looking forward to sitting down and really getting into this. I know that there's... Yeah, it gorgeous. I recommend having a little look on either the Instagram or the website, which I'll put in the box, to see if it's something you'd be interested in. But these are beautiful and kind of coffee table items, or, you know, I'm looking forward to reading it before bed. But yes, I am proud, excited and grateful. And then finally, I've been talking about changing the way I film for a while, and what I really want to do is spend a lot longer on videos. I want to make something the quality that I'm proud of rather than consistent or feeling like I should. And that's not from you, so that's not from you, this is from me. I just want to put out the quality that I'm proud of. I don't want to go and research like I'm an academic and share something that is like that. That's not my style. But what I would like to do is to spend time going, right, this is the project and I want to really spend the time doing this as good as I can and actually film it a little bit better as I go, and then have a little bit longer to edit it rather than feeling like, oh, I finished it, I best get it done. This is all on me. But hopefully it will benefit you as someone that's hopefully here for a little bit longer, you know? So I think I might miss another week or so. I have loads of knitting still to talk about, so I will do a knitting video maybe in 2 weeks' time, just to keep you in the loop, you know? But I think I'm going to try and shake things up a little bit more, but the quality should then get better. You know, setting both cameras up to record and things like that I don't tend to have the time to do, not to the experience. So yeah, all I'm saying is hopefully things are going to change a little bit more. Again, I've got some projects that I'm really excited to work on, and hopefully the outcome and the final videos will be even higher quality in the future. Yeah. So with that, I love you. Thank you for listening to all of this stuff. It's been busy, it's been exciting. I've loved meeting people. I will preface that most of the people that I meet in real life, I've been talking to for quite some time online. I've got a gauge of their energy, or I've watched hours of them, like maybe you have with other people on YouTube. But I love doing it. I am excited to continue this and to keep connecting and keep doing more, meeting people, but maybe spaced out a little bit more in the future. Yes. Anyway, I love you very much. Thank you again. I really mean it. And I hope to see you again soon, and hopefully it will be in a video that I'm really, really proud of. Yeah.